America's housing market is cracking under the weight of its own hype. Families are being priced out, wages can't keep up, and cities that once symbolized opportunity are now financial traps. Today, we count down the 12 U.S. cities that simply aren't worth the cost in 2025, places where the dream of home ownership has collided with the harsh reality of skyrocketing prices and diminishing returns. Stay with us until the end, because number one will leave you stunned. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to Discover the Nation. Your support helps us uncover the truth behind America's housing collapse.
Number 12. Austin, Texas. Austin brands itself as the quirky tech capital of Texas, the land of live music, barbecue, and booming startups. But beneath the charm lies a housing market that's anything but welcoming. The average home price sits around $550,000, and even rentals average $1,800 for a one-bedroom. Property taxes top 2%, leaving many families staring at bills of $10,000 or more just for the privilege of owning. The quality of life trade-offs are just as painful. Traffic crawls endlessly along I-35, utilities strain under summer heat indexes topping 105, and the once laid-back culture has been swallowed by Silicon Valley money and cowboy boots. Austin was once affordable, alive with possibility, and quirky in the best way. Today, unless you're armed with stock options or a tech salary, you'll find yourself priced out fast. The deeper issue is Austin's identity crisis. The city grew faster than its infrastructure ever could. Public transit is limited, water supply is under pressure, and suburban sprawl is swallowing the open spaces that once made Austin unique. Add in skyrocketing rents that are forcing out musicians, artists, and small business owners, and the live music capital of the world risks losing the very soul that made it special. For longtime residents, it's heartbreaking. For newcomers, it's shocking. Austin is no longer the cheap, quirky city people fell in love with. It's a high-priced experiment in unchecked growth, one where families are left asking, at what cost does weird stop being worth it?
Number 11. Denver, Colorado. Denver was once the outdoorsman's paradise, sunshine, skiing, and mountain views. But in 2025, the mile-high city has collapsed under its own weight. The average home costs $540,000, and rents are near $1,900. Wages haven't kept up, and even simple pleasures like grabbing a craft beer now carry double-digit price tags. Add in rising homelessness downtown, worsening traffic, and trailheads overcrowded by sunrise, and Denver's dream lifestyle begins to crumble. Families are paying Silicon Valley prices for something that feels less like paradise and more like a financial trap. What's happening in Denver mirrors a bigger problem: rapid population growth without long-term planning. Between 2010 and 2020, Denver's population surged by nearly 20%, and developers rushed to keep up. But most of that development targeted luxury apartments and high-end condos, not affordable housing. The result? Locals are being priced out of their own neighborhoods. On top of that, Denver's cost of living has climbed across the board. Gas prices regularly run higher than the national average, groceries stretch family budgets thin, and utility costs spike in both summer heat and winter snowstorms. For many, the dream of mountain living has been reduced to sitting in traffic on I-70 for hours just to reach overcrowded ski slopes with $200 lift tickets. Denver still has its mountains, its sunshine, and its charm. But for working families, those perks are now out of reach. The mile-high city has become a mile-high expense, and it's pushing residents down the mountain and out of the market entirely. Number 10. Portland, Oregon. Portland was once America's hidden gem, affordable, eccentric, and full of life. But the shine has worn off. Average home values hover at $536,000. Rents are around $1,700, and stagnant wages make it harder to keep up. Property taxes pile on, while crime and homelessness have left downtown looking hollow. And then there's the weather. 6 months of drizzle and gray skies that might be fine at $800 a month, but at $1,700 or more, residents expect more than endless gloom. Portland is now charging premium prices for a lifestyle that simply doesn't exist anymore. The decline has been slow but steady. Once known for indie bookstores, craft breweries, and quirky culture, Portland now makes headlines for tent encampments, shuttered businesses, and strained public services. While some neighborhoods cling to their vibrancy, the city as a whole feels like it's trading its soul for unaffordable housing and declining livability. Utility costs climb as infrastructure struggles with aging pipes and unreliable power during winter storms. Public transit, once praised, now feels unreliable as ridership declines. For young professionals, Portland is no longer the cheap city where you could chase creative dreams. For families, the safety and cost equation no longer adds up. At its peak, Portland offered eccentric charm at a bargain. Today, it's asking families to pay premium prices for frustration, endless gray skies, rising crime, and a housing market that feels rigged against the middle class. Portland hasn't just lost affordability, it's losing the very character that once made it worth calling home.
Number 9. San Diego, California. San Diego has perfect weather, but its housing market is nothing short of punishing. The average home price has soared close to $1 million, while a modest one-bedroom apartment rents for $2,700 a month. The overall cost of living here is nearly 50% higher than the national average, making this sunny paradise one of the least affordable places in the country. Unless you're working in biotech, defense contracting, or benefiting from a military housing allowance, wages simply don't keep up. Service workers, teachers, nurses, and even mid-level professionals are finding it impossible to live within city limits. For many families, survival means juggling multiple jobs just to stay housed, and that leaves little time to actually enjoy the beaches, sunshine, and lifestyle San Diego advertises to the world. Groceries, gas, and utilities only add to the burden. California's state taxes are among the highest nationwide, draining what little disposable income remains. And while San Diego sells the image of coastal bliss, many residents are quietly drowning in financial stress. The irony is stark. The city's greatest selling point, its beaches, parks, and endless sunshine, are out of reach for the very people who make the city run. San Diego proves that good weather alone doesn't equal quality of life. For most, paradise here comes at a price tag they'll never be able to afford.
Number 8. Seattle, Washington. Seattle, once known for its music scene, coffee culture, and natural beauty, has transformed into a high-priced tech empire. The average home costs around $850,000, while rents hover near $2,300. On paper, Washington's lack of state income tax sounds appealing, but the advantage quickly disappears under the weight of high property taxes, sales taxes, and inflated living costs. The city's homelessness crisis looms large, with encampments visible throughout urban neighborhoods, while property crime and safety concerns continue to weigh heavily on residents. Public frustration grows as wages fail to match skyrocketing costs outside of the tech bubble. Unless you're coding for Amazon or pulling in a six-figure salary from Microsoft, Seattle quickly becomes unsustainable. The lifestyle trade-offs are just as frustrating. Months of gray skies and rain leave many residents battling seasonal depression, yet the costs they pay feel closer to those of California's coastal metros. Public transit is stretched thin, traffic congestion is infamous, and basic necessities, groceries, utilities, healthcare cost far more than the national average. Seattle still offers opportunity for the few who can afford to thrive here, but for the majority, it's no longer the Emerald City of dreams. Instead, it's a place where the dream of opportunity suffocates under a relentless grind of expenses, stress, and survival.
Number 7. Boston, Massachusetts. Boston's historic charm is undeniable. From cobblestone streets to world-class universities, the city blends history with modern vibrancy. But in 2025, that charm comes with a crushing price tag. Homes here average $750,000, while one-bedroom rents are around $2,600. Add in some of the highest property taxes in the country, plus soaring grocery and utility bills, and Boston quickly becomes one of the most financially unforgiving cities in America. Unlike many U.S. housing markets that have cooled, Boston's prices continue to climb, fueled by its education and healthcare hubs. For families, that means buying into a market with no signs of relief, a dangerous gamble when wages haven't kept pace. The weather only makes the costs sting more. Brutal winters bring heavy snowstorms, icy streets, and heating bills that can soar into the thousands. Summers are humid and expensive to cool, straining both budgets and patience. Narrow streets and unrelenting traffic add daily frustration, while public transit struggles to keep up with demand. Boston remains a cultural and intellectual capital, but unless you have Ivy League wealth, venture capital, or a trust fund, the city feels less like an opportunity and more like a punishment. Families are being priced out, young graduates are leaving, and the historic charm is starting to feel like a luxury only the elite can afford. For the average household, Boston isn't a dream. It's a very expensive history lesson you never signed up to pay for.
Number 6. Honolulu, Hawaii. Paradise has never been this unaffordable. In Honolulu, homes range between $750,000 and $1.3 million, while average rents push $2,800 for a modest apartment. Add to that the fact that groceries cost 60% more than the national average, and gas prices are consistently among the highest in America, and the dream of living in Hawaii begins to unravel quickly. The cruelest part? Wages don't match the cost. The average salary in Honolulu lags far behind, leaving many residents working 2 or even 3 jobs just to keep the lights on. Families that have lived on the islands for generations are being pushed out, unable to compete with wealthy outsiders and investors snapping up property as second homes or vacation rentals. The influx of foreign capital and mainland buyers has transformed local housing into a speculative market, not a community resource. Even basics like healthcare, school supplies, and utility bills are inflated because everything must be imported. Electricity bills soar due to Hawaii's dependence on imported fuel, and food insecurity is rising because of reliance on costly shipments from the mainland. For longtime residents, paradise feels less like a blessing and more like a financial prison with an ocean view. Honolulu still dazzles tourists, but the reality for locals is stark. Paradise here comes with a mortgage payment that never ends and a daily struggle that drains the aloha spirit.
Number 5. Washington, D.C. The capital of the free world carries one of the steepest price tags in the nation. The average home costs around $650,000, while rents hover near $2,400. Add groceries, utilities, transportation, and healthcare, and the cost of living soars to 50% above the national average. And the struggles go beyond money. Washington, D.C. is infamous for its traffic gridlock, ranking among the worst in America. Commuters spend hours trapped on the Beltway, stressed before they even arrive at work. Summers are sweltering and humid, winters are freezing and brutal, and seasonal utility bills only deepen financial pain. While the city boasts jobs in government, lobbying, and law, not everyone benefits from those high-paying sectors. Teachers, first responders, and service workers are left in a paycheck-to-paycheck grind, where rising housing costs swallow nearly everything they earn. Crime in certain neighborhoods remains persistent, adding safety concerns to already mounting financial pressures. At first glance, living in D.C. feels like a privilege, a front-row seat to the nation's politics, history, and power. But peel back the monuments, and the truth is harder to ignore. For most families, D.C. is an expensive treadmill where you run hard, pay more, and gain little in return.
Number 4. Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles has long sold itself as the city of dreams, the land of Hollywood glamour, palm trees, and endless sunshine. But for millions of residents, the dream has turned into a financial nightmare. The average home costs around $900,000, while rents average $2,500, and in many neighborhoods, far higher. Groceries, gas, and utilities are consistently among the most expensive in the nation. California's tax burden piles on, leaving families squeezed from every angle. A gallon of gas can run nearly $6. Grocery bills soar, and electricity rates are climbing fast. For middle-class households, it's not about building wealth here. It's about barely scraping by. Then there's the quality of life. LA's traffic is legendary, transforming short commutes into multi-hour marathons. Air quality continues to suffer, worsening respiratory problems for families, while homelessness has reached crisis levels, with encampments spreading across sidewalks, underpasses, and parks. Public safety concerns are rising, and frustration is mounting. Yes, Hollywood still sells the dream: red carpets, luxury lifestyles, and beaches framed by sunset. But that's not the life of the average Angelino. For most, it's a cycle of multiple jobs, shrinking paychecks, and relentless costs. Los Angeles isn't the city of dreams anymore. It's the city where dreams suffocate under debt.
Number 3. Miami, Florida. Behind Miami's golden beaches and neon nightlife lies a crushing financial reality that too many families know all too well. The average home here costs around $600,000, while one-bedroom rents soar past $2,500. Add in insurance premiums for hurricanes and flooding that can run into the thousands each year, and suddenly even well-off households feel the squeeze. Property taxes are climbing higher by the month, making stability elusive for anyone without deep pockets. Miami's biggest problem is the wage gap. Service jobs dominate the economy. Hospitality, tourism, restaurants, and wages simply don't match the cost of living. Families work long hours just to cover basics, leaving little room for savings or stability. And then comes the looming shadow of climate change. Rising sea levels and routine flooding make Miami's real estate one of the riskiest bets in America. Sunny day flooding, water bubbling up through storm drains on cloudless afternoons, has become a new normal. Experts warn that billions of dollars in coastal property could be underwater within decades. For buyers today, that means gambling on a home that might not stand the test of time. Miami may sparkle on Instagram, beaches, clubs, and sun-soaked glamour. But for the people who actually live here, it's not paradise. It's a city where the dream home comes with financial quicksand beneath its foundation.
Number 2, San Jose, California. San Jose, the beating heart of Silicon Valley, has detached itself entirely from reality. The average home here costs an eye-watering $1.4 million, while monthly rents hover near $3,000. Even for six-figure earners, life in San Jose is financially suffocating, with mortgages and rents consuming the bulk of household income. Everything here is inflated. Food, gas, and utilities run well above national averages. Childcare, healthcare, and basic necessities drain budgets further. Yet, unlike its northern neighbor, San Francisco, San Jose lacks the cultural landmarks, historic architecture, or vibrant urban character that might justify the price. It's a sprawling suburb wearing a billionaire's price tag. For tech workers making enormous salaries, San Jose still delivers proximity to jobs at Apple, Google, and Nvidia. But for everyone else, teachers, nurses, city workers, the cost of living borders on impossible. The middle class has all but evaporated, forced to commute from distant suburbs just to make ends meet. San Jose is living proof that opportunity does not equal affordability. Yes, fortunes are made here, but unless you're among Silicon Valley's elite, San Jose feels less like a land of innovation and more like a city where even the successful still feel broke.
Number 1. San Francisco, California. San Francisco tops the list as America's most overpriced city, and for good reason. Average home values have hit a staggering $1.3 million, while rents soared to $3,200 a month. But what are people really buying? Not charm, not stability, but headaches. The city, once celebrated for its quirky art scene and counterculture, has been hollowed out by decades of tech money. Homelessness has surged, crime rattles the downtown core, and once vibrant neighborhoods are dotted with shuttered storefronts. Families that sustained San Francisco's character for generations have been forced out, replaced by a sterile, unaffordable playground for the ultra-rich. The trade-offs are brutal. Taxes are some of the highest in the nation, infrastructure is under strain, and quality of life has steadily declined. The iconic cable cars still climb the hills, the Golden Gate still gleams at sunset, but for the average family, those symbols mean little when rent alone eats 2/3 of their paycheck. The truth is stark. San Francisco may remain beautiful on postcards, but living here means constant financial strain, safety concerns, and a vanishing sense of community. Unless you're already wealthy, the city doesn't welcome you. It drains you dry, and that's why it stands at the very top of this list.
And there you have it, 12 U.S. cities where the cost of living has spiraled so far out of control that the American dream feels more like an expensive illusion. From the tech hubs of California to the tropical shores of Hawaii and the political powerhouse of Washington, D.C., one truth remains the same. When wages can't keep pace, when housing devours entire paychecks, and when quality of life keeps slipping, even the most glamorous cities lose their shine. What these places all have in common is a dangerous imbalance. Booming real estate markets built on shaky foundations. Investors may profit in the short term, but ordinary families are left struggling to survive. The very cities that once symbolized opportunity, culture, and innovation are now warning signs of what happens when growth outpaces reality. For some, these cities will always hold appeal, but for countless others, they've become financial traps. Proof that sometimes the smartest move is not where you go, but where you choose not to go. This was 12 U.S. cities that simply aren't worth the cost in 2025. If you found this countdown eye-opening, make sure to subscribe to Discover the Nation, where we uncover the hidden truths shaping America's housing market one city at a time.